Haidong! In this video, we're going to talk about aspects of Bankuk 6. So this is our penultimate Bankuk form, right? So we're really coming to the end of all 29 forms I'm allowed to put out. So let's talk about one concept as well as two applications in this form that might be kind of new or at least fun to play with. As we talked about with our previous form, right? So form 5 was really about keeping distance. Right, you were able to keep distance in many different ways with like center cuts, with cross cuts, all sorts of good things. So Bankuk 6 is going to be doing something in a similar vein, but it's going to be something you're going to see a lot more in the next form, which is also Bankuk 7. This is going to be able to keep your eye always on, again, forward and back. What I mean by that is you're always aware of what's going on in front of you and what's going on behind you because you're always, again, checking from a safe position. Okay, so we did something like that in Form 4, but this form just takes the idea and just like runs with it, doesn't even see the finish line, just keeps going, it just goes on, Forrest Gumping it all the way. Right, so it just takes the idea so far, but let's take a look, right? So even as we just get started, right? So after we finish our first combination going forward, all we do, again, just think about what we do in the form, right? We're here, we cross cut, heavy eye contact with the person behind you. Cross cut, heavy eye contact. Cross cut, ready, and then you're coming in with your cut this way. So even in the beginning of the form, you're always aware of both ways. Now that's also going to be true as we just continue going forward with this one, right? So we're here, we cut, right? Okay, always looking behind you. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, so you're always checking behind you, usually from this yoke, so to say, 11 block or X block position. So you're using that, again, I think we introduced that in the other Bankuk 4 before we did our, again, powered upper block, but it's going to be the same idea. So you're always going to be using that technique over and over and over to always make sure that you're good on both sides. This is also true of what we did in Sangsu 12, right? So when we did a very similar technique of the crosscut, check, crosscut, check, etc. And also all the spins associated with it. You're always making heavy eye contact. But again, this form just takes that idea and just runs with it until it just is a little bit silly near the end. But that is at least one major concept that this form plays with. A fun drill we can do with that, just to, again, tease your students, is, again, so the idea is not merely to see behind you, is to understand what's going on behind you, right? So if I'm spinning, I'm cutting, I'm here, I have to make sure, like, all right, that's a foe, I need to be careful about them, or, oh, friend, cool, let me keep going this way. So you have to register what's going on, not merely see. So a fun drill you could do is, so as you're going through it, so if you're the instructor, maybe have another person on the other side. This is a very linear form, so you can literally be on the line and your partner could be on the other side. So as the person is going through the form, you can hold up like this. Like so 7, for example. So as the person going through the form, sees it, they have to register and be like, okay, you just said 7, and now you're kind of looking over here, 4, something like that, right? So that kind of gives you an idea of, again, seeing, registering, and also teasing your student, making sure that they actually are looking both ways, not merely looking like they're looking both ways. The first of two techniques that I would like to play with is the walking crosscuts. Now again, this might sound a little bit weird because we did something sort of like this in Bankuk 3, right? We kind of did the 1, 2, right? So we're really using that kind of like check what's going on. In Bankuk 6, we're actually stepping with it. We're actually kind of towards our leading foot this way, right? And that seems really strange, right? Because crosscuts are usually stepping into it, like we did in Bankuk 3, right? Or we're using it to kind of have a nice big open clear, like in, again, Sangsu 1, Sangsu 2, etc., etc. So this is a weird one. So this is kind of fun because you're using that crosscut, again, as a clearing move, again, because crosscuts really aren't usually that good for actually fighting forward this way. But if you're here, this actually lets you have pretty rapid fire cuts while still aiming for the middle. So they're still wanting to deflect you or just back out of your way, and you can just like come towards them like this pretty easily. Now your head is still open, so you have to be careful, but it's just a nice way to have like a moving clear with you. And the cuts are actually relatively powerful, all things considered. So it's just a kind of like a fun technique just in the middle of the form to enjoy, right? Now this is a nice technique, especially so if you're a judge, for example. If someone is not paying attention, it can look really sloppy, like, right? The idea here is to use, again, that kiken taichi, so this forward momentum is going to be cut off with the inward motion of the knee here, right? So have the equal opposites, kind of have a nice clean cut, clean cut, clean cut, as opposed to kind of like that swaying motion I might see if someone's not really paying attention. So as a judge, be aware of that. And the last technique that I would like to talk about is the block at the very end. So for a while, right, this did sort of annoy me, right? So in most of the previous sections, you have 1, 2, thrust, 1, 2, like overhead thrust or something, right? So some sort of offensive move. In this form, we do 1, 2, block. All right. So then we kind of just spin into a diagonal, which makes it sound like what, like what are you blocking? What are you trying to do, right? So this is one way you can interpret it, right? So just like we talked about in Yedo 9, the idea of this is more of a flourish, again, trying to like hide what you're going to be intending to do, especially depending on, again, especially considering what you do next. Doing this, what's a nice thing that you dear listener, you would do against this, it's probably just a center cut, right? I'm doing this kind of thing. I can probably like maybe hit you through your transitions, right? That's what you block. So we're here, we're actually baiting them to hit you in the head. 1, 2, here. Now this looks weird, right? So if it was really trying to stop a center cut, you would probably want 2 hands. Why are we doing 1 hand? And this is going to be the reason. So if we're here, again, fake, fake, they're coming in here. Notice, again, this may not necessarily be canonical in the form, but notice that my tip is actually a lot more forward than you might think, right? So they're coming in, I'm flourishing, my tip is actually more forward. It's going to catch and ride the blade towards my guard. What do you do next in the form? Blades coming in, deflect. Blades coming in, deflect. Coming through, bang, right? So to reiterate, right? Flourish, swords coming in. Because the blade's forward, you're actually going to keep their momentum as much as you can. If you're here, you're going to stop their momentum. Here, you're going to help it keep going. As you start your spin this way, deflect off. They're still here, cut through. Does that make sense? So this is my best explanation for this because it also is just really weird otherwise. It's also going to be true for, well, not this particular move. Actually, side note, this is not going to be true for Bankuk 4, for example, where you kind of keep this and you sidekick underneath. But this is going to be true for what we did in Sangsu 9, right? Which is always like something that kind of like always annoyed me, right? So we just did the pop, pop, 1 here, right? And then we come with that crosscut, which always annoyed me. So it's going to be very similar. Here, slap, underneath, cross, and then hit them clear. So this is going to be very similar to what you did in Sangsu 9. This makes a little bit more sense, at least in my opinion. And that's it for Bankuk 6. So this is the second to last Bankuk form we're going to be discussing. Now there are only 7, right? So cool, so we're coming to the end of our, at this point it must be like several months of us just going through form after form after form, so giving you aspects of all of them. So hopefully you've been enjoying the ride so far, but we have one more form to go through. Just to kind of keep you guys in mind, I'm actually going to be splitting the next one. So now what I mean by splitting is it's actually going to be 2-part. So instead of 1 aspect and then 2 aspects, it's going to be a full 3 and 3. So Bankuk, I'm going to have 2 parts. So the first part's going to be a lot more about concepts associated with Bankuk 7, and the other one's going to be application associated with 7. So hopefully you'll enjoy those 2, and we can have some fun with that. So as always, so make sure you stay safe, stay humble, and keep training. Haidong.